Hey y'all, it's official. We are about to start my favorite unit for the entire year. Personally, I feel like this one has some of the most meaning, and students in the past, when I've asked them, hey, what's one thing you would definitely keep about what we did in English this year? This unit is a big one. So here we go. And now for our next unit. So today's our intro to the unit. This unit is called Courage. It's also about impact and what impact you are going to have on the world. So I want to know, so these go with some questions that are down below. I want to know for your first question, how would you define like a modern day hero, a hero in real life? So tell me what you think. How would you define a modern day real life hero? We've been talking about the hero's journey this whole time and how the hero has a mentor and goes on a quest and makes a sacrifice and gets the princess or gets the knowledge, goes back to rescue the people. What about in real life though? So how would you define that? Think of some people or some professions that you think are heroes, and what about that makes them a hero? Let me know. So really fast, just like we always do with every unit, I'm just going to lay it out for you guys. I want to look at why we're doing this unit, how we're going to be looking at this unit, and like what we're actually doing. So the first question is, why are we even like doing a unit on courage and impact in the first place? I love this. You guys are 8th graders. Nothing is more important than this right now. Check it out. So we are no longer looking at fiction stories and fairy tales about heroes and like the journey that they go on. Now we are going to talk about real courage, real heroes. We are going to look at the stories of those who have come before us or who are living around us right now. It's now it's not about like the heroes in stories. Now it's really about our own real lives. We're going to be looking for the mentors like for our own lives. Like we need our own mentors too. Some of you guys through this unit are going to find some people that become that for you. Sure, we all have people that are mentors in our lives, like teachers and parents, grandparents. But there's going to be some people out there too who I hope you discover in this unit that you will really connect with. So this is really about the heart of what it means to be human. It's about our journey as humans to become what we want to be the best that we can, to become all that we were made to be and can be. It's about the impact that our own lives are going to have on other people, whether those are strangers 3 cities away or it's a family member at home. It's all about courage and impact. So I want you guys to look at this quote. This is actually one of my all-time favorite quotes, and I want you to think about what it means. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is fear walking. So I want you guys to think of courage and fear almost like we're going to personify them, almost think of them like people here. The idea that having bravery, having courage, it doesn't mean that you don't have fear. I know a lot of times we see brave people and we're like, oh my gosh, like they must have no fear. Oh, they have fear. Believe me. The difference is they lean into the fear. Courage is when fear goes on a walk basically and leans in and decides to like go into the scary thing. So if you're having a little bit of a hard time understanding this quote, here are 2 other ones that sort of get at the same idea. To do something courageous means you have to walk forward and connect with your fear. The idea that you have to walk into what makes you uncomfortable. You have to walk into that risk, knowing that you may not come out the same way, right? And the other quote says, courage is walking through the fear with your eyes open. So courage is not having fear. Courage is understanding that you have fear and doing it anyway and leaning in and going forward with your eyes open. So I want you guys, sorry for the last question, I want you guys to choose one of those quotes and describe like what you think about it. For our next question, I want you guys to describe one person that you consider to be courageous or heroic and explain why. This could be somebody like in your own life, like a real person in your own life, like a family member or a friend. This could be a role model, somebody that you look up to, a celebrity, somebody that lived and died in the past. I just want to know who is one person that you consider to be courageous and why do you think that? So ultimately, what we're going to keep coming back to in this unit is the question, what impact are you going to have on the world? So now let's look at the how and the what of our courage unit. So how are we going to do this? We're going to look at different people around the world and across time whose courage, or maybe their lack thereof courage, or their lack of courage made them have a really big difference, a big impact in the world. So what are we going to look at specifically? We're actually going to be looking at the event of the Holocaust and during World War II, looking at one 14-year-old girl who had a huge impact named Anne Frank, and looking at people in our own country who have and who are courageous and are impacting the world around them as we speak, or the world around us as we speak. So what impact will you have in the world? So for this one, I want you guys, we're going to be looking at a real event, or real events plural. We're going to be looking at real people, and we're going to be looking at real courage. Starting tomorrow, we'll be looking at the Holocaust and what that is and what happened. We'll look at the event itself, the people who were involved, why it happened. We're also going to be talking about Anne Frank and who she was, and looking at and reading her story. So I want to know for today's reflection, please go ahead and do today's reflection. I want to know, what are some things that you either already know about the Holocaust? It's okay if you don't know anything. I just want to know if you already do. Let me know. What are some things you want to know about the Holocaust? And then tomorrow we'll look at what are some of the things that you learned from today. On Friday, or here in 2 days, you guys are going to be watching a documentary called The Path to Nazi Genocide. So when we look at courage, we need to not only look at what people have done right and have helped and sacrificed for other people, we also want to look at what happens when people don't take the stand, don't have courage, or just go along with the flow. So I want to look at some of the stories of the people with you guys involved in the Holocaust, look at how they survived and what they went through. I want us to question, how could something like that have happened in the first place? And as well as look at, for those of you guys that aren't familiar with the story of the Holocaust, I want to look at what actually went down and what happened. So one thing I want you guys to think about, what is something today that you learned about that you liked? Is there something that you would like to know a little bit more about? All right, that's a wrap. I will see you guys later. Remember to do your reflection. Bye.